Good morning, everyone, and welcome to today's ClubExpress overview. I'm Samantha. I'm the Director of Education at ClubExpress. I'm going to be helping out today. I'm joined by Will, who's going to give you a tour of the system. But first, we have a little bit of housekeeping. So all of your phones and microphones are muted. So if you have any questions about what you're seeing today, go ahead and pop those into the chat. I will be there to answer your questions live as we go through the demo today. So you don't have to wait until the end of the show to ask them. And of course, we will have time at the end of our session today for some live Q&A. So we'll be able to wrap all of that up. This webinar is being recorded and will be available on our YouTube channel later. So you'll be able to review it if you can't stay for the whole webinar. And you can, of course, share that with your board or team. You can find our YouTube channel by going to YouTube, searching for clubexpress.com. That's with the .com spelled out. And of course, you can find plenty more while you're there. So that's where we keep all of our other webinars that we've hosted and recorded, as well as our tutorials, which are much shorter videos and will give you a nice, clean, deep dive into different things that you might be interested in. And of course, you can take a look at all of our upcoming webinars by going to clubexpress.com/calendar. So with that, you can see all of our webinars, not just for prospective customers, but webinars hosted by the education team. That's my team. So like I said, if you wanted to take a deeper dive, or if you have other folks who might be interested in learning a little bit more about ClubExpress, take a look at our calendar. Take a look at our calendar and see what strikes your fancy. So without further ado, I will go ahead and pass it off to Will, who's going to give you a tour today. Will?
Thanks, Sam. I appreciate it. As Sam stated, my name's Will Sanders. I'm an account manager here at ClubExpress. So it's going to be my pleasure to take you through the overview for today. First and foremost, before we get started, I definitely want to thank you guys for spending the time with us and, taking an opportunity to learn more about ClubExpress. Little insight into who ClubExpress is. I always like to start with, kind of telling you who you're dealing with. And we're a Chicago-based software company. We were established in 2003. And what we provide is just a cloud-based solution for association management. Our first release was in 2004, and we're currently on version 68. We typically upgrade the system, every 2 to 3 months, bringing just kind of a plethora of new features, feedback from customers, things like that. So we're trying to do a new release every 3 to 4 months. The whole tool itself is just an online tool that, if you have internet connection, you can use ClubExpress's platform, no matter if you're on a desktop, laptop, or even your mobile devices. We service thousands of organizations worldwide. We are an international company, and we've got about 500,000 users that use, ClubExpress or benefit from ClubExpress day to day. Now, what we'll cover today are just kind of the basics of our system. What I'm going to show you today is the public area, which is just one side of ClubExpress dedicated to the public. So things like your home page, some custom pages, if you want to share calendars and things like that, and even, pages like contact us or the history of. And then we'll move into the member area. Now, the member area is something that's going to be behind a sign-in wall, meaning a member would have to have a username and a password in order to get to this area, which is things like the profile and modules and things like that. And Sam, I'll have you flip tabs here so we can get into the control panel, which most of the folks on this call would fall into. This is the administration area of ClubExpress, probably where most of you will live. And we're going to cover things like the people manager, membership renewals, custom pages. We'll go over just and touch very, very high level some financial and administration things that you can do with ClubExpress from the financial side. And then we'll end on, kind of the emailing, the communications like surveys and support. So without further ado, I will take over the screen here, Sam, and I will share our demo site that we're going to be going on today. So give me just 1 second here. I'm going to share this, and you should be seeing, and let me know if you see something different, Sam. You should be seeing the International Association website. This is just a demo site that we use to share information or take prospective customers through demos. And the reason I like this site is because it has a lot of information that's going to help you understand how ClubExpress works. Now, as we come onto this website, we are in the public area. This is that public area where you guys can dictate who you want or how much information that you want to share for the public. This is not, anything driven towards the membership. This is going to be to tell people about who you are, share things like your calendar, share things like custom pages about us, your philosophy of your organization, things like that. And again, you can share as little or as much information as you want when it pertains to your, upcoming events, any newsletters or things that you guys want to share to the public. Now, where it changes is when you become a member and you get a member login and password. That's where you're going to be able to log in wherever your login button is on your website, and it will log you in. Now, I'm set to automatically log in, but what would happen is it would transition you to a page that has a username and password for you to fill out and log in. Now, you'll kind of notice this pop-up button here that says it looks like I have a pending payment. Well, this is just a notification that you can set up in ClubExpress to let people know that they've got some type of outstanding payment that they need to make, or maybe it's a membership renewal. And if me, the member, was to close this, I'll always have a gentle reminder up here next to my name through a little red dollar sign. And we'll cover that here shortly and kind of show you how that works. But the main thing is now we're in the member side. This is where your members are going to be able to come in and have access to a completely different side of the system than the public area. So now they've got access to member items. They've got access to some video pages, the event calendar, a little more in depth into what you offer in your membership services. But the first place I want to kind of guide you all to is the actual membership profiles. Every one of your members in ClubExpress will have their own profile, and it can always be found via their name. They hover over their name and just come right here and click profile. And what the profile is, it's just a 20,000 foot view for them of everything that they have in their profile, in their membership level. It's going to cover things like their summary, what type of membership they hold, the status, the expiration of that membership, if any payments are due, the member number, if you guys use member numbers, the join date, and the last time that they renewed. Aside that, it's also going to have a place for them to come in here and update their own information. So any information that you guys collect during the sign-up process, they have the ability to come in here and keep that information up to date. The administration no longer has to do it. Now, that doesn't mean that the administration can't do it, but we really want the mantra to be that the members manage themselves. That's kind of the mantra around here, and we want to continue to press that into you all's organizations, because that's going to give you the ability to keep the most up-to-date and freshest information by having those individuals have the access to update this information. Now, your information may look a little different. You may ask, additional data questions, but you can really drive to collect the information that you want when somebody logs in. You could ask questions like, do you want to be a volunteer in our organization? Do you want to make a donation during sign up? You guys may have a donation or maybe giving back to some type of foundation, and you can ask that during the sign up process. So it's a really, really unique tool to be able to capture that information that you need for members signing up. Not only do they have that type of ability to update information, but they'll also have running histories in their platform as well. So anything that they do within your organization, from a transaction to a payment and credit to an event that they've attended, any donations they made, all of that will be trackable in ClubExpress for them, as well as the administration. But for instance, if Mr. Martin Smith wanted to cut a charge for $10 and I don't know what it's for, well, he can always come in here and see the last 12 months, 24 months, or all time, anything that was ever charged on his account. He'd know the date, the type of transaction it was, the amount, the status, and the reference number of that transaction. And it'll also give him a receipt. Now, it looks like he's got an open payment here, and it looks like it's a miscellaneous charge for $10. If he wanted to go pay that, he could just simply click this dollar sign, select the payment method that he wants to pay, by check, by cash, by credit card if you're using our built-in merchant processor, and then he can make that payment. Now, once he makes that payment, that red, little reminder would be gone. The pop-up that when he first logged in would no longer pop up. And then it would just go right under his transaction history as paid and give him that information. Now, same thing for event history. He's going to be able to look at any events he attended, any donations he made. But here's a really powerful one a lot of the ClubExpress organizations use, and that's volunteering. The system has an ability and a module built in the system out of the box called the volunteering module. This allows organizations like yourself to create volunteering opportunities, whether that be giving back to the organization as far as like hosting an event. Maybe you need volunteers to run the check-in desk, usher, point people to breakout sessions. Maybe you need somebody to come into the office for a week and volunteer and help send out emails or send out the newsletter. You can create those volunteering opportunities in ClubExpress. And what ClubExpress does for the individual is it tracks the hours that they volunteered during the duration of their, history. They can come in and see how many hours they've given back to the organization. Or if you want to use it as an outlet to highlight your individuals or your members, the administration can also, say, hey, thank you to the volunteer of the month, volunteer of the year. It's an easy way to be able to calculate hours and recognize those individuals that are giving back in your organization as well. So just a really, really cool out-of-the-box feature that we offer. And I would say probably 97% of what we do as a company and a platform is out of the box. There are some paid extra cost features that you can use in the platform, but what we'll cover today is what's going to be at your fingertips right when you become a customer of ClubExpress. That's just out of the box. Now, moving on from, kind of the profile area and the transactions, also they have the ability to share as little or as much information as they want about themselves in the member directory. Now, this is the only thing that the administration doesn't have the ability to tell people how much or they can share. This is really driven by the member. They can ask to be not listed in the directory. They can show just certain information that they want, or they can show everything. And what that looks like from their perspective is they can share their social media links. They can write a biography about themselves, share different achievements that they've achieved in the organization. But what that translates to from a higher level view of all members would be the member directory, something that can be found in your member items under directory. And this directory is going to be a searchable directory of all of the individuals that have chose to share their information in your organization. And it's a really unique way to share that engagement or keep those members engaged and introduce them to the people that are in the organization. They can search by first name, last name. You can create interest, like, different categories that you guys may have in your organization for people to find via interest. You can search by chapter. You can search by state, city within a distance of a zip code. But what happens is when you search these individuals, their pictures and anything that they've shared is going to pop up in the directory. And in this case, you can go into Alan's profile, and this is kind of their little, this is me page for everybody that's in your organization. They can, again, share as little or as much information as they want. But this is going to be a high-level introduction to them, who they are, where they're from. They can write a biography about themselves, share any photos, because every one of your members has a photo album built in. So if they want to share photos from events that they've been to, all of that is built into ClubExpress. They can write their own blogs if you give them the ability to write blogs. Any achievements that they achieved in the organization, maybe a past sitting board member, a president, maybe they were a volunteer of the year. They can share the achievements that they've accomplished within ClubExpress and highlight that, for other individuals to let them know who they are. Now, aside that, they can also share their social media links if they want to, contact information, email. This is a great way to get members engaged with other members and find out about each other and keep that connection alive. Also, with modules like that and the volunteering, you've got document modules that are built in. Remember, when you become part of ClubExpress, you've got an unlimited space that you can keep documents, videos, and pictures. So you guys are going to be able to host video pages, documents, in pictures from events that you want to post. All of that's hostable in ClubExpress, and it's unlimited. Now, the documents folder is a little bit different. It's going to be a place where you can, archive old newsletters for people to be able to click on and download right to their fingertips and be able to look at those, old newsletters. It could also be a place where a board of directors can come and get any information that they need. Now, these document libraries can also be administered. So the system's smart enough to be able to recognize if somebody's a board of director. You may want to close these type of documents off just to the general public. And you'll be able to do that by dictating the system to say, hey, you're not listed as a board of directors, so you can't come in here and look at meeting minutes. You can't look at different policies. So this can all be protected by administration wall, and the system's smart enough to be able to know who those administrators are, because you'll tell it who those administrators can access these documents. So it's a really powerful way to be able to keep those documents in your system right at fingertips link. And you're going to be able to share whatever you want with your public or even your administration. And things like that, things like your donations modules are built in, news. And here's a big one, right? Surveys, and we'll cover it a little bit more in communication, but you're going to be able to do things like send out surveys. So if you guys want to build surveys in the system, you're going to be able to do that. Whether it's radio button, you're going to have a different answer every time if that's what you want for your surveys. And you can pick and choose how you want those answers to populate. Radio buttons, multiple choice, short text, long text, however you want to set that up. And then what happens is you can send those surveys out, and those surveys can come back to you, and then you can get that real-time information that you want and be able to get that information back very, very quickly. Video pages, like we were talking about, you can host video, you can iframe in video, anything that you may be doing as far as video, pictures, you're going to be able to, host all of that in your system. Event calendars are built in, and this is a really, really powerful way to share events. And I'm going to jump back here a couple months where I know I've got a nice event that I could show you. But what the event calendar for ClubExpress is, it's probably our most robust piece of system that we have. And what I mean by that is it acts more than just a placeholder for events. Once you dive into the event calendar, you can see we've got a 3-day conference here. You can actually click the event and notice that ClubExpress allows you to build the event in the event calendar. So if you wanted to build, sponsorship logos or pictures, talk about the agenda of the event, the when and the where, any breakout activities or items that are going to take place at the event, what the costs are. It can even go as far as creating like a lunch or a dinner that's going to be included. So not only is it just a placeholder for the events, it also allows you to build the event and talk about what's going to happen. And then really the cherry on top to that is giving the members the ability to register and pay for those events right from the event calendar. And then on the flip side, the night of, the day of, the weekend of the event, your administrators will be able to see a list of those attendees registered and mark them attended to the event as they come in and get their name tags or they sign in. You guys will be able to start taking attendance to events. And why is that powerful? Well, that ties in directly with like the surveys. Now you can get really granular and send out an email after an event that has a survey attached to it. And the system's smart enough to know who attended those events. And you can say, hey, give us the feedback of the event. What'd you think? Did you like it? Did you like the speakers? Would you like to see more of this type of event? It's just a great, great way to be able to get that real-time information back from the individuals that attended something, whether that's an event, a board meeting, whatever it is your organization may do. It's just a great way to get that information back. But the event calendar is a great way to share that, that event, tell people where they're going to be. So things like that, these are the things that you're going to have at your kind of leisure for ClubExpress out of the box. Everything that I've showed you so far from the member's perspective this is available for you. Now, we talked a little bit about the administration side, probably where most of you will live, and that's in the control panel. So on your website, however you build it out, whatever template you're going to use, or if you're doing one of our packages where we're building a website from the ground up for you, you're going to have a little panel here that allows you, if you're an administrator, to go into the back end. This is probably, I would say, where 99% of you will spend your time, and that's in the back end. And in the back end is directly for administration. You have to have the ability to get here through this control panel feature. And you're going to see things like dashboard, people, website, money, organization, communication. These are all tabs that individuals in your organization are going to take part in. Now, dashboards is exactly what they are. They're just a high level, it's a feature for you to add dashboards to give you a high level view of anything that you may be looking for. Membership growth by month, event revenue by category, donations coming in by fund. You guys can create, dashboards for each individual. And have your own dashboards to make sure you're looking at what's important to you from your administration role, and have that right at, a 20,000 foot view of everything that you want to see. Now, as you move through the tabs of the administration portal, it gets a little different. Under the people tab, this is probably where most of your membership managers will live. Your membership managers will be able to come in, look at a high level, view of your database. They can search for members, non-members. They can look at different statuses. They can search by active members, expired members. This is just a high-level view of the database for your membership manager to come in and see everybody that's in your organization. They'll have the name, the membership, the level, the expiration date, but then they have these little icons next to their name. And the pencil icon is the ability to give an administrator to go into somebody's profile and update their profile for them, check something. You can add people to mailing list categories. You're going to be able to keep notes on individuals. So if you need to keep a note on an account, you're going to be able to do that. And then anytime anybody owes any money, you'll see a little green dollar sign here. And I think we've taken care of most of the payments, but that little green dollar sign that you've seen before, you'll see it here. And it's just a quick way to see any open payments that may be out there, and the treasurer can go out and try to collect those funds. But this is where most of the time your membership managers are going to live, to be able to see those individuals in the people manager. But they'll also be able to come in here and run reports on membership contact. They can search by birthday, search by chapter, any open renewals in the system. They can search by membership types. And run any type of report in ClubExpress. We've got tons of reports that are built in, that are canned reports out of the box, and we'll get into them just a little bit once we get into the financials. But every tab that you come across is going to have their own reports that you can pull. Now, kind of back to the membership, you guys are also going to be able to have the ability to create membership types. So your membership manager, anytime that you guys create a new membership type, you'll be able to have as many running as you want. They can all have different durations, different costs. And it's easy as clicking the addition button and going in and naming the membership type whatever you want, whether it's a gold membership. You can talk a little bit about it, whatever you want to put in the description. You can set the duration. Does this type of membership require an approval before somebody can pay for it? Yes or no? Is it a business membership, right? So we do have an ability to build business memberships and family memberships, meaning you can have more than one person on an account. So if you had a business type membership where business A would come in, there'd be a primary individual that is named as the primary account holder. And then you can have secondary members that are also a part of that same kind of umbrella group. And then you can come in here and set the fees for the fees of whatever that membership is going to be. That's you guys' decision to make whatever those fees are going to be. But that's probably where a lot of the membership managers will spend their time, building out memberships, looking at memberships, managing renewal and expiration settings, right? The system's smart enough to be able to send out notices for you when somebody's coming up for a renewal. And you can set these parameters to whatever you want. You can say, hey, I want 30 days out, I want the system to send an email to let them know that they've got a renewal coming up, and then 5 days, and then 1 day. Or you could even say, hey, 15 days, 5 days, and then you know what? I want to give a grace period of 2 days. So on the second day past the renewal date, if they haven't renewed, then that the system will actually send out an email to them letting them know, hey, you didn't renew. You probably need to go renew because you're expired. So it's a really powerful way for the system to be able to do these jobs for you and get you guys back to what's most important, and that's engaging with your members and constantly updating the website with new content. Back into the control panel, website. This is probably where a lot of your webmasters are going to live, meaning being able to have the ability to create custom pages. And what I mean by custom pages, different pages like our philosophy, meet the team, who are we, FAQ pages, things like that. You guys are going to be able to have the ability to build as many pages as you want in your ClubExpress website through the custom page builder. And it's a very, very simple way that your webmaster can go in and add new content, new pictures, new data. And it's very powerful. And aside that, they're going to have the ability to run reports as well. Things like website traffic, security, any modules that fall under the website, events, document library, all of that's built in. And then when they want to go update the look and the feel or add graphics or things like that, they'll do that in their setup panels. So they can come in and, change the website look and feel overall from the template version, change menu items under menus, add menu items. They can come in here, click the pencil and say, hey, you know what, our contact page is not up to date right now. I need to take that down for the time being until we get it updated. And then the moment we get it updated with the new contact us people, we can find it, move it right back over, and it will then populate right back on the menu item. So they're going to be able to do things like that. And if they want to work on a page itself, let's say they wanted to change something on the home page, they would just come directly to the page, and the administrators would have an ability to float out this panel just off to the right, hit the edit button, and then actually go into the main version of what you're hosting, click the pencil, and then it'll bring them to the builder. So if they needed to add, hey, I need to add 2 more rows of boxes, and in these boxes, I want them to be text or images, whatever they're trying to do, they can go in and then continue to build onto that page or change the content that fast, that easy. So it's just a great way for your website and your administrators on the web look and feel to be able to come in and do those types of things. Now, your treasurer, we all know, the money. The treasurer will probably spend most of their time here, whether he or she's coming in to look at bank account activity, transactions, credits that may be given, any reports. Now, I'll dive a little bit deeper into the reports here. Your treasurer is going to be able to have the ability to come in and run reports. And they could come in and say, hey, I want to see, show me a transaction report of all new event registrations that happened last year. Now, one thing that you need to realize, when you run a report in ClubExpress, no matter what tab you're under, these are the formats that we can output them in for you: PDF, HTML, CSV, Word, and Excel. Now, I'm going to run this PDF report for event registration from last year in this organization. And now your treasurer has a very quick 20,000-foot view of all the transactions that took place centered around events all of last year. And it tallies it up by line item and by cost. And then at the end of that, it gives them a grand total of everything that they needed to pull. So it's a very quick way for the treasurer to come in and run reports for things that they need to see, whether that's transactions, whether it's, ClubExpress transactions, meaning what, our monthly charges that we charge you, any credits or payments that are done. All of that's going to be accessible to the treasurer via the reports module. They can add bank accounts. So if you're using multiple bank accounts, what I mean by that is if you have a bank account for a membership and bank account for donations and a bank account for event registration, if you have multiple bank accounts that you're using, you can add those bank accounts in the system. Now, if you're using our built-in merchant processor, we can actually split those funds for you, meaning Every time somebody registers for a membership, we're going to send the money to that bank account. Anytime somebody signs up for a event registration, we'll make sure that it goes to the bank account that you have your event registration going to. So we're able to do things like that for you when you're using our built-in merchant processor as well. Organization. A lot of you will probably spend your time in organization. This is just a high-level view of things like, adding administrators and coordinators, giving people titles, organizational data. So everybody will probably find their way into this tab at some point. And then the same for communications. So communications is where you're going to spend most of your time when you're doing your emailing, your blogging, any surveys that you may be sending out. But let's really focus on emailing, right? Because ClubExpress has a very, very powerful way for you guys to reach out to your organization. It's got a built-in communications tab for you to come in here and build your own emails. And what will happen is when you start off, you'll see these red exclamations. But what you can do past that is come in and you'll have your own categories in here and different things. But let's say you're sending a newsletter out, the who from, you can send it now or on a specific date and time. The subject of that email, let's say it's the newsletter for October, where we want to track the opens, but we also want to personalize it. So the system's smart enough to know exactly who we're sending the emails to because we have that membership data built into the system. So when you come in here and send an email out to 100 people, it's going to land in their inboxes and say, hey, Sam, hey, Will, hey, Gavin, hey, Sarah, whoever you're sending these emails to, it's going to personalize it. You can save that and these will go green. And then you come in here and you pick your distribution list. Now you can create your own and you can get really granular on who you target. You may say, hey, I want to say thank you to everybody who volunteered for a certain opportunity. Maybe I want to say thank you to everyone who donated to a specific donation fund that helped us reach our goal. Or maybe I want to pick on somebody that owes money, right? Whatever it is. But in this case, let's send it to all active members. And we'll add this, we'll save it, and now you're good to go. So now you can come down with the elements and start building your email. You could say, I want 2 pictures and some text. I want to include our social media links. I want to put a link to our next event, or maybe even share a file. And then you just go into the pencils and you build your communications, you add your pictures, you put your text in, or maybe you have a template saved that you've already, maybe it's a newsletter template that you send out every month that you already want pre-built for you just to drag and drop. And you can just come in here and already have your logos populated, the color scheme that you want. And then you just go into your pencils and update your information and the content that you want for the new newsletter. So it's a great way to be able to push out those communications very fast. Now you can also send test emails to yourself to make sure that you see it in your inbox before it goes to 100 people, to make sure you like the flow and the way that it lays out. You can save templates. You can come in here and just send it out. It's a great way to communicate with the very fast. So if you're using Constant Contact or MailChimp, that's a bill that you can get rid of because you have the ability to do it in ClubExpress. And then last but not least is the support. And Sam and her team really tie into the support as well, but I can't talk enough about our support team. We only do live support. You'll always call in and talk to somebody live at ClubExpress. We're all based here in Chicago. We don't third party anything out. But let's say that you're not, you're after hours, you're after support hours, and you're, 10 o'clock laying in the bed doing some work on the website. You always have the ability to come in here and go to the support tab, and you can either look at your guides, which are readable PDFs, or if you're like me, a visual learner, the tutorials follow along with those tabs that we just covered. So if your membership manager needed to come in here and say, hey, how do I create a committee? Or how do I configure a new member sign up? They can just click to watch the YouTube, and it will take them to about an 8 to 10 minute video that either Sam or somebody else on the training staff has done. And they can just follow along that video and learn how to pretty much build anything that they would need to build in ClubExpress via our YouTube page. And again, they can just follow along, right along the tabs. So if your treasurer needed to come in and say, how do I do a discount coupon? How do I run data exports or do donations? they can come in here and watch videos that they have at their fingertips to learn the system. Now, this is also a great way as boards turn over annually or, every 2 years. It's a great way to allow people to come in here and learn the role that they're taking over as well. Now, aside from support, Sam and her team also do training sessions. So any training that you do with her or her partner, Devin, those would always be accessible to you as well, because we do have training. Now, some packages that you pick in ClubExpress have training built in, or you can buy training hours yourself through ClubExpress and work with Sam and her team. So without, kind of going much more into what she does, I'll kind of let Sam end on the support and kind of tell you what her and her team do for people who want training. So Sam, I'll pass it over to you for that.
Yes. So if you are someone who is maybe, getting everybody on board at one time, or even if you're someone who is looking to start building out your site on your own, that's where we can come into play. Your training is completely customized to you and your organization. So it comes with what we call a little 15-minute discovery call. We customize your agenda to your needs. We get to know you, get to know the top things that you want to be able to hit the ground running with as soon as you go live. So we make sure that we do not leave you to your own devices, and we hold your hand as much as we can every step of the way. So we always look forward to new customers and customers signing up for training, and we are really excited to potentially talk to some of you. And we got some really good questions in the chat today. So one of the questions that might involve a little more info, and we can kind of talk about what the sign-up process looks like, would be, do we do anything with membership databases? So specifically, if someone has an Excel spreadsheet with all of their members, contact info, all of that, what do we do as far as getting that into your system and creating your new database for you? So with every package, whether you're building your site or whether we're helping you build your site, we always handle your member database import for you. And we also handle your first or initial non-member database import. So your non-member contacts might be folks from other organizations, and maybe you've acquired a couple of mailing lists from, maybe local businesses that you have mailing lists for. So any of those contacts will handle that import for you too. And of course, it is easy for you to import further non-member contacts as time goes on. But there's a lot more that is sort of included in that initial sign-up process. So if Will would maybe pop over to clubexpress.com. So of course you would start off with your free trial. And even during your free trial, you have a lot of support available. So you have access to our help, both online and offline help in the way of those manuals. There are videos. We also send you helpful emails to help you through that process. So that first step is signing up for a free trial. Your free trial is a 2-month trial. And once you get started on that process, like I said, we have a lot of videos and tutorials to help you through that. And Will can definitely give you some more information of what those steps look like for you. If you are purchasing a package of ours that includes time with any one of our teams, whether it's a development team or whether it is a customer success team and your implementation team, that'll determine all of the different packages that you choose. So each of those comes with something different. Your sales team contact will help work out which package best suits your needs. Will, I know that there are typically some pointers that folks can use to maybe get an idea of what package might fit their needs. Do you maybe have a couple of those?
Yeah, so the packages, understand that you can find them under pricing. You can go to the member calculator and you can see the one-time setup fee, right? Or you could just click the one-time setup fee. But understand that the packages, we've got a basic setup package for $150, which you do everything. That means you're going to go in and build it all out yourself. The look and the feel, you're going to go, build your menu items, all the things that we showed you in ClubExpress. The only thing we do for you in these packages is do that import that Sam was talking about, and then you have all the support built into that moving forward. Now, if you go into a package, a package is, think of the packages as where we build the car for you to drive off the showroom floor. And within the packages, there's different things that we do. So the starter pack, you're going to pick from, a plethora of templates that you can mix and match. And then we not only build the front end, meaning the look and the feel, we also do a lot of the initial back end setup. So we'll go in and set up the membership types, the renewals, the expiration settings. We'll set up the administrators and coordinators, email, committees, things like that. We'll go in and set those modules up as you'd get them. That way you can add to them. The only difference in the pricing is how fancy you get with the website, right? This is going to be a very templated look. As you move into the different packages, you're going to really be able to get into some stunning looking websites, right? So you can always find the examples in the examples page. You can go right down here and see, we've got different layouts for a bunch of different things. Now, most things in the starter and starter pack plus, you're going to be able to get that edge to edge look, that very modern website look. But when you want to get into some of the higher packages where you're starting to get like, things fading in and fading out, changing color when you hover over images, that custom CSS and JavaScript, that's when you'll start to get into more of those upper tier packages like the builder pack, the builder pack plus, these type of packages. But if you're just looking for a very static, edge to edge, really, really unique website, modern looking, most of the individuals fall in one of these first two packages. So we just got to kind of figure out where you guys would want to be. Now, Sam, I did see somebody ask a question about payment processing and fees about our built-in. We do have a built-in payment processor. And for all card brands, Visa, MasterCard, Discover, and Amex, it's 2.99 plus 20% or 20 cents. So we don't add any fees on top of this. We don't mark this up. It's a very, very industry standard 3%. And it is powered by Stripe. It's LumaPay by Stripe. If you also have your own PayPal account, you can integrate that into the system as well. Now, the PayPal, there's no charge to do that. The only stipulation about integrating your own PayPal is it must be a nonprofit PayPal or a business PayPal account. It can't be like an individual PayPal account. Or if you guys want to bring in your own merchant processor, you can do that as well. We don't strong arm you into using our own, built-in one. You can bring your own merchant processor. The only stipulation to that is whatever processor that you choose, they must use authorized.net as their payment gateway. So I hope that answers the question about the payment processing. Sam, what else do we got?
We had some questions about the event calendar specifically. So are there reports that you can run for events that might include attendance information or registration information? Are there emails that might go out with your event to remind people that it's coming up? And the answer to all of those questions is yes. So we have lots of different reports, not just in events, but everywhere. So within the events module, like a lot of our other modules, we have built-in reports that are specific to those modules. We have reports for all of your events, reports for specific events. We'll take a little peek at the dashboard, which is one of our new features in your control panel, which will give you sort of a bird's eye overview of maybe some specific event categories so you can see where your money makers are. But we have reports coming out of our ears. So the more that you dive into some of those specific features, if you pop into some of our tutorials, even just exploring the control panel, you can see that, like I said, we have those module specific reports. We also have reports that are kind of overall, reports for people, reports for your members, your non-members, reports that help you figure out who has access to different things on your site so you can manage your administrators and coordinators more efficiently. Lots of different reports. And we also have a lot of automatic emails. So with events, you can configure reminder emails to go out to registrants, to go out to all of your members. You can also configure system emails and blast emails. Now, system emails, all of the emails that Will's showing you right now, are those boilerplate emails that get sent out when someone does something specific on your site, registers for an event, makes a donation, signs up for a volunteering opportunity, all of those different things. So you'll see a lot of different system emails there. Some of those are tied to specific modules. So depending on the modules that you activate on your site, you may not see all of the things that you're seeing here, but each of those are customizable. So we give you the sort of boilerplate template that you might start with, and you get to make it your own. So you can add in your own additional links, logos, you can add tracking with all of those system emails as well. They're really easy to manage, and the tracking capability is super helpful. So you can definitely help out when you get a member who says they didn't get an email. And then in addition to those system emails that go out automatically without you having to touch a thing, we also have integrated blast emailing that's included with every site. That is not an extra cost feature. So your blast emailing allows you to create those really nice formatted marketing style emails, even newsletters, where you can talk about those events, talk about anything really. You can include news articles that maybe feature your organization, links to new blog posts, links to different things on your websites, reminders to your members about upcoming events and checking the calendar. There are a lot of different ways that you can communicate with your members using the functions that are just built into your site. And some questions about a couple of the features that you mentioned. So with our document library, it is not a function that would allow you and say another administrator to collaborate on the same document at the same time. So it's not something that we have built into our functions right now. But right now, what you do have available is a repository for not just documents, but PowerPoints, PDFs, Excel spreadsheets, anything that you might want to make available to lots of different people in your organization, or even make available to your members so they have sort of one space that they go to for everything. That's what you would use that document library for. And,
Yep.
oh, I'm sorry.
No, I was going to say, Sam, um, uh, one organization that I work with a lot, they do their collaboration outside of ClubExpress, especially if they're changing content. And it's more or less like Sam said. She hit it on the head. It's for that finalized document that you're ready to host and have available for people to download. So that's all I wanted to kind of just piggyback off of.
And as if the planets have aligned, our team is actually hosting an updated webinar to dive deep into our document library at the end of next month. So if that's something that strikes your fancy, go ahead and you can sign up for that in advance. They are free. And you can pop into that and kind of see all of the capabilities of the document library. We have some fun tips and tricks that we always like to throw into our webinars.
Yeah.
And another question about surveys. Can surveys be configured to be anonymous? They can, and they can do more than that. So your survey functionality includes not just surveys, but polls and elections. So polls are going to be just your quick one question type things. Hey, where do you think our next event should be? And you give them 5 different options. You can throw that on a custom page. You can throw that on your home page so that it hits people right when they log into your site. And you can also create multi-page, multi-question surveys, or just a quick election for your next board members. Your elections are configured to be anonymous automatically, and also members can only vote once. Surveys can be configured to be anonymous or not, or just giving that option to the person taking that survey. You can view results broken down by specific questions. You can see there that there are lots of pages within each of those individual surveys, so they can be really complex, include over 20 different question and answer types, from multiple choice questions to skill questions. Surveys, it's a really fun module. You can use it for a lot of different things. We have tutorials and webinars that dive deep into that feature. So if you are interested, you can pop over to our YouTube channel and just search for surveys.
Sam, there was also a question about QR codes generated for sign-in at events. I'll let you touch on a little bit about that, but before you do that, I want to let folks know that we do have the capability of building. We do have an extra cost feature, which is the membership cards. And on that card right now, we create just a barcode. But Sam, I'll let you kind of talk about the QR generator and how we use the QR code generator.
Yes. So we'll kind of break that down into two things. So the first would be how to quickly take attendance for members popping into an event. So while we don't have the ability to create sort of a QR code ticket that you might scan in, we can absolutely get your members marked as attended in a couple of other ways. So the best way, the way that Will mentioned, would be those virtual membership cards, which do have a barcode that you can scan in to quickly scan your members into an event. We also do have built-in attendance tracking that's available to you. So that attendance tracking, what that does is when you have your registrant list for an event, because everyone has registered on your site, you can print off or even you don't have to print it off. You can open up your registrant list on a tablet, on a laptop that you have in an event, and you get checkboxes next to each person's name that's registered. So it's pretty easy to use built-in features. And as Will's showing you right now, there's an example of our virtual membership card. The virtual membership card has a lot of different data fields that it can include as well. So you might be looking at the example that we have on our demo site, but know that you can have specific fields included based on what your organization needs. A lot of other organizations use that, not just for attendance tracking for events, but they also have members presenting it to local businesses for discounts and things like that. So there are some options. Oh, sorry. Yeah, there are a lot of options for tracking attendance for events. The QR code that's not what we're using it for just yet, but it is something that our developers have on their list of things to do, but there really isn't a timetable for that. Right now, our QR code generator is going to be used ideally for the same reasons that you might see lots of QR codes out and about now, for physical scanning at a location where you might have a menu, or if you are hosting an all members meeting, maybe at your local library, you have the QR code for the agenda right next to your sign-in sheet or right at the front of the door. Members can pop in, scan that QR code, and open up the agenda that maybe you've stored in your document library. So there are a lot of different use cases for that QR code generator, but right now it's not going to be used to create sort of a ticket for your events.
Yep, perfect. And Sam, I was going to just jump in and say a lot of the fraternities and sororities use the membership cards to be able to scan in for events, and they just use that barcode. Now, me and Sam are showing you the virtual downloadable cards via, the profile. We also have a secondary membership card that's more of a hard plastic card. We have a machine that designs the cards, and we can put whatever logos and things like that on it. So if you're looking for more of the hard plastic card, like a credit card type of card, we can do those as well. So if you're interested in getting costs on those, just email me. And I can get you the cost on those. But it's a good way to be able to use your scanners and things like that to scan people into events.
And another couple of questions. So I will skip one since we're talking about surveys, and I'll kind of tackle them in order. So can we make board elections available only to members who were at a specific election meeting? So that's a fun question, and it gives us sort of a chance to talk about one of the things that we really like to do here at ClubExpress, which is help with specific use cases. So while we don't have an option to limit a survey to people who have attended a specific event, something that happens a lot of times is we get lots of ideas from our customers customers. And that's really what drives, as Will mentioned at the top of our time together, that's really what drives a lot of our enhancements and a lot of the things that we add to our toolkit for our customers. So that's the kind of thing that we would take. We take those ideas and we submit them to our dev team. They go on a giant list and they get chosen out of a hat, not really, but they get chosen very carefully by our dev team as to what they tackle next. So while that isn't something that we have the capability to do now, I'm definitely going to send that to our dev team. And it's also something that my team or even your sales contact would help you kind of think about a workaround for. So there are lots of benefits to, speaking with team members, even if it's just, calling them with a quick question and maybe, finding out if there's a way that you can sort of work around something. So there are a lot of options, and a lot of our team members are more than happy to help you work through those. And another question, how do sub websites work if you want to have a foundation website, but want it to be managed separate from your main organization's website? Do you have anything that you want to maybe throw in there, Will? Anything that you've seen? I've seen maybe a couple of different things very similar to that with other customers, and I'm wondering if maybe you have anything that you've seen specific to that.
Yeah, so it's a very unique way to be set up. Typically, we see it again in our sorority and fraternity, and then also sometimes we'll see it within like our car and bike clubs, where you'll have a organization that wants to run the website via, or maybe they've already spent arm and a leg on a WordPress website or a Wix website, and they only want to use ClubExpress for the membership features. We have the ability to do that. So if you're hosting or if you're in a contract somewhere else via your look and feel, we can build a membership portal for you in ClubExpress. And what we typically try to do is try to keep that look and feel almost as kind of a mirror image to what you have on your website, to give it the illusion that they're really never leaving the website to come into the membership portal. But what would happen is on your website, you would have like a login menu item or a member login. And when they click that, there would be a redirection that would happen in the back end that would send them into the ClubExpress side. And they would come in to the membership side. But they would do it from your website. And again, they'd come to ClubExpress, they'd use their username and log in to sign in. And again, we would try to build those landing pages very, very similar with the color scheme and the logos and all that to your current website. And they would do all of their membership features that we just covered here today in ClubExpress. And then the moment that they were ready to leave from the membership side, they would be redirected back to the home page of the website that they came from. So it is a possibility if you're not quite ready to make the jump to host your website on ClubExpress, or maybe you're locked into a contract somewhere else, or maybe before finding ClubExpress, you spent $5,000, $10,000 on building a website. We can give you the ability to host a more of a member portal. And then when you're ready to move everything under one umbrella, you could do that. Or if you just want to stay in that type of model, you can do that as well.
Thank you, Will.
Yeah, no worries.
It looks like our questions have died down. We had really good ones in this session, so really excited about that. Just as a reminder, of course, this webinar is being recorded. We will have that edited and up on our channel within a few days. So keep a lookout for that in case you want to share a copy of this with any other board or team members, or if you would just like to go back and relive the glory of your ClubExpress demo. And I think that might wrap us up. Will, I will pass it off to you to take us away.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate everybody who showed up today. If you guys want to have a more in-depth conversation about your organization, you can reach out to me at will@clubexpress.com, or you can call me at the phone number posted there on the website. I look forward to hearing from you, and thank you all for your time, and I look forward to speaking with you soon. Bye-bye now.